If you've never lived in a face me, I face you compound before, you won't understand true suffering. Face me, I face you is a special kind of madness where 15 families shared one toilet, one bathroom, one line of clothes, and one landlord who appears only when rent was due. That was the daily life of Zanel and her younger sister Umbali, two beautiful Zulu girls struggling to make ends meet in room 3B of a peeling blue building in Durban. Zanel, the older sister, was 30 years, but she looked 25 on good days and 40 when everywhere was really tight. She was sharp-mouthed, fearless, and always had one clause for their situation. If hunger was a person, I would have sued him for harassment. Umbali, who was 26 years old, was the sweet and soft-spoken one. She had finished university with a degree in business administration, but the only business she was running now was printing CVs and wearing down her shoes in job hunting. They lost their parents years ago and had no one else in the world apart from each other. And so, in that public compound of noisy children, gossiping aunties, and audacious mosquitoes, they held on tightly to their sisterhood. One Tuesday night, Zanel was sitting on the bed fanning herself when she screamed and jumped up. "Yo, Umbali, come and see what this mosquito just did to me. It bit me and still used my blood to do hand sanitizer." Umbali turned from where she was arranging her CV and laughed. "You are the one that said we shouldn't buy insecticide again, remember? So what do you expect?" Zanel hissed. Now, because that thing is so expensive, but now see how mosquitoes are toasting me. Anyway, I blame Noah for all these things. Who told him to carry mosquitoes inside the ark? Was mosquitoes part of the whole plan? He didn't try at all. The two sisters laughed. That was how life was for them. Even though they had a bucket full of problems, they would somehow make sure laughter always found its way around them. Every day, Zanel would go to the market to sell second-hand clothes, shouting skirts for 20 rands, while Umbali, on the other hand, was tired. Her last job interview ended with the manager telling her, "You are too pretty to work. Do you want to be my personal assistant in my house?" She cried so hard that day. Zanel prepared noodles for her and said, "See, soft life will soon locate us, but first, we must survive this tough life." That night, they lay on their tin mattress side by side, talking about their dreams. Umbali whispered, "If I get a good job, I will take you out of this place. I will get you your own shop with an air conditioner." Zanel smiled in the dark. They talked and laughed until sleep carried them. What they did not know was that life was about to shift for them. It was one of those frustrating Wednesdays. The sun was doing overwork and emitting the kind of heat that made your armpits beg for mercy. Umbali had just returned from yet another fruitless job hunt, dragging her dusty shoes and holding her worn-out file like it owed her money. She looked tired, hungry, and irritated. Zanel was outside in the corridor, scraping burnt rice from the bottom of a pot. She looked up. "Umbali, how did it go?" Umbali sighed and dropped her bag. "Same old story." The man said, "We'll get back to you." Honestly, I don't even know if it is me they are trying to get back to or their ancestors. Zanel laughed. At this point, you should get a job as a motivational speaker. How to survive 70 job rejections with ease. You are really trying, my sister. Just then, Mbali's phone vibrated. She checked it and smiled softly. Zanele noticed immediately. Why is your face suddenly sweet like custard? Who is that? Umbali smiled even more. His name is Sifo. I met him today. Zanele's mouth opened wide. Eh? Umbali continued. After I left the building at West Street, I saw him at the bus stop. He helped me pick my file when it fell. Then we started talking. He was so polite. Zanele, you know those gentle rich men? His car was clean. His teeth were white and his perfume. I nearly followed him without asking questions. Zanele narrowed her eyes. Continue. Umbali giggled. He said he runs a private business, imports and exports. He gave me his number, bought me lunch, and even sent me transport money. Zanele folded her arms. Umbali, when last did you see someone offer you free lunch, money, and attention just like that, without hidden billing? Umbali shrugged. Maybe God has finally remembered us now. Zanele hissed. God doesn't remember people by giving them perfume men with shiny cars and unknown jobs. What is the surname? Umbali looked up. Sifo something. I haven't saved the full name yet. Zanele stood dramatically. That is it. That is how it starts. So you will enter his car and the next thing you will be selling your liver in Johannesburg. Umbali laughed. Zanele, it's not that deep. He just said he wants to know me more. And maybe we could even watch movies together sometime. Zanele rolled her eyes. Better be watching that movie with sense, so don't let them watch you into obituary. What does he really want from you? Umbali paused. He said I look like someone who deserves a better life. He says he wants me to be his queen. Zanele screamed, Yo! Queen of where? Face me, I face you. They both burst into laughter. But deep down, Zanele wasn't laughing because something about it didn't sit well with her. For the next few days, Sifo kept calling and texting. His messages were sweet like mango in season. I want to spoil you. You are not meant for struggle. You make my heart beat like generator. He sent her 500 rand for data, then another 1,000 rand just to get a new dress. By now, Umbali was blushing like a small girl in love, but Zanele kept watching quietly, observing and calculating. After all, Umbali was her little sister who needed to be guided. 2 weeks after they met, Umbali came into the room one evening and sat quietly. Zanele, who was plaiting her hair with a broken mirror, paused and asked, Why are you quiet like a mosquito planning attack? Umbali cleared her throat. Sifo invited me to his place. Zanele dropped the mirror. To do what? To fry fish? Umbali looked nervous. He said it's just to chill. He's making grilled chicken and wants me to come over on Saturday. Zanele stared at her sister as if she had grown 3 heads. Umbali, look around you. This is all we have and are. If anything happens to you, who will look for you? We don't even have uncles. If I call the police, they will ask for my surname and hang up once they hear it. Umbali smiled awkwardly. That is why I am telling you, sis. I will share his address. You can even stay on call with me till I reach. Please, just let me go see him. Zanele folded her arms and thought for a while. All right, give me his address, car plate number, house number, and blood group. I will collect everything. If anything happens, I will summon the entire community guard. Umbali laughed. Zanele, you are just too dramatic. But Zanele's face was serious. My dear, with the way the world is now, before you enter any new man's house, you must tell your sister, your neighbor, and if if possible, your ancestors. Saturday came like a thief in daylight. Umbali stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her yellow dress for the third time. Her makeup was light, her perfume was soft, and her smile was full of hope. Do I look okay? She asked as she turned to Zanele. Zanele sat on the bed with folded arms. You look like someone who is about to be devoured if care is not taken. Umbali rolled her eyes playfully. Zanele, please, I have told you everything already. I will be careful. Zanele nodded slowly. Yes, you told me, but I don't trust that man. He talks too much for someone who didn't mention his surname. Umbali picked her small handbag and tucked her phone inside it. I will share my live location with you, sis. Zanele stood up and shook her head. Live location can be edited, my dear. People now use app to confuse people. Give me the exact address. Umbali hesitated. He only sent me the estate name and gate. He said he will come out to pick me. Zanele narrowed her eyes. So what will happen if you go missing? I should go and fight the estate security, Abi? Umbali smiled sheepishly. Don't worry, sis, I will be safe. But Zanele ignored her. She went to her purse and pulled out a small jotter. Then she wrote down the following details. Umbali's outfit description, the time she left the house, the estate's name, his phone number, and her phone number. She tore the page and tucked it under her pillow. I am not giving this to anybody here too, but if you don't call me after 2 hours, I will turn this compound upside down. Umbali smiled and hugged her. Thank you, big sis. However, just before Umbali stepped out, Zanele conceived another idea. Wait! Umbali turned. What is it, sis? Zanele picked her phone. Let's do WhatsApp audio call, not video. Just plug your earpiece and put the phone in your bag. Umbali looked confused. Why audio call? Well, video call draws attention. Audio is quiet. I just want to hear the background sound, just to make sure nothing is off. Umbali smiled. Okay, you are being paranoid, but I love it. They connected the call. Zanele stayed home while Umbali walked out of the compound. 10 minutes later, Umbali texted, "He's here." Zanele's stomach flipped as she pressed her phone close to her ear. She heard faint sounds, a car door opening, Umbali giggling lightly, and the man's calm and charming voice. "Welcome, my queen. You look amazing." Umbali responded, "Thank you. Your car smells nice." His laugh followed. "You like it? It is imported, just like you." Zanele rolled her eyes. "God, please don't let this girl fall into any trap. Please, oh." About 15 minutes passed. Zanele heard the man saying something like, "Let me help you with your bag," followed by the sound of a door opening. Then the audio grew faint. Zanele whispered, "Umbali," but no answer came. "Can you hear me?" Still nothing came. She checked the screen. The call was still active. The timer was still running. Zanele sat upright. She wanted to hang up and call again, but something told her to leave it, to wait and listen. Just then, someone knocked at the door. It was Mama Tuli. "Zanele, come and see what Lisa cooked though. I think she used soap instead of salt." Zanele jumped up instinctively and placed her phone on the bed without ending the call. She then laughed and walked out to join the gossip. Meanwhile, immediately Umbali stepped into the house. She felt a shift. The place was clean, yes, very beautiful, with marble floors, large TV, glass center table, and a fragrance that smelled like money. But something still felt off. It was too quiet. There was no neighbor's voice, no child's cry, no clinking of pots or all those normal house noises. Sifo smiled as he shut the door behind her softly. He then asked with a soft voice that tasted sweet like melted chocolate, "Do you like it?" Umbali managed to smile. "Yes, it's very nice and very clean." He took her handbag and placed it on a shelf near the door. "Feel free, my queen. This is your home too." Umbali walked slowly and quickly scanned everywhere. She noticed something. There were no pictures, no calendar, or anything to make the house look personal. It felt like a hotel room that didn't want guests to stay long. Sifo returned with a drink. "You love this one. It is imported juice straight from Italy." She took the glass with shaky fingers but didn't drink it. Instead, she pretended to admire the ceiling fan. Her heart was already beating fast at this point. This man's house is too perfect, too arranged, almost like too planned. He sat across from her and watched her. Well, not her face, but her every move. "You are very special, Umbali. The moment I saw you, I knew I had found someone I could trust." Umbali forced a smile. "Oh, thank you." He leaned forward. "Do you trust me, Umbali?" She blinked and her brain told her to lie fast and smile naturally. So she obeyed. "Yes, I do. I trust you." "Good," Sifo said. "That is the key. Trust." Umbali laughed nervously. "So, what is your full name? I realize I don't even know your surname." He paused and then smiled again. "You ask too many questions, my queen. Just enjoy the moment." Umbali's stomach was unsettled at this time. She couldn't ignore the feeling in her guts anymore. So she placed the untouched drink on the table. "Actually, I should go soon. My sister..." Sifo turned sharply. "What about your sister?" Umbali swallowed hard. "Nothing. I just mean I told her I'll be back soon. She knows I went out." He laughed, but it was the kind of laughter that didn't change one's facial expression. "Your sister?" he repeated. Funny thing about sisters is that they care so much, yet they are so careless when the moment comes. Umbali's blood ran cold. "I beg your pardon," she asked. He moved closer to her. "Do you know how many girls have sat on that couch, just like you, talking about their sisters, their families, and their dreams?" Umbali stood up immediately. "Please, I need to go." He moved between her and the door. "You are not going anywhere." "Please," Umbali begged. "I won't tell anyone." Sifo grinned. "They all say that until I find their names in the newspapers being reported as missing people." He reached behind the curtain and pulled out a rope. Umbali gasped and stepped back. What are you doing?" He advanced slowly and silently, and that was when Umbali screamed. Not a foolish scream though, but a desperate scream. She shouted at the top of her voice, "Zanele! Zanele!" Sifo laughed. "Shout all you want. Your sister can't save you. By the time she realizes, I'll be gone with the wind." Umbali didn't say anything else. She just closed her eyes and fought back tears. But deep inside, she was praying and begging. She was begging Zanele, begging her to still be on that call, begging her to have forgotten to hang up, begging the line to still be open. "Please, Zanele, please hear me." At that exact moment, back in room 3B, Zanele stepped into the room after gossiping with Mama Tuli, still holding the plate of food Lisa had given her. She was about to check the time when she noticed her phone light blinking. The call timer read 1 hour 12 minutes. Out of curiosity, she raised it to her ear, and what she heard made her freeze. She heard the swishing sound of a rope being flung in the air, a man's voice, and Umbali Umbali screaming, Zanele, Zanele, he's going to kill me. Zanele's body went cold. She dropped the plate and didn't stop to think. She didn't even wear slippers. She just ran as if her body was on fire. Neighbors turned as they saw her running through the corridor breathless. Zanele, what happened? Where are you going without slippers? But she didn't stop or answer. Her sister was in trouble, and that was all that mattered. There was a small police station 2 streets away, a faded yellow building with a bent flagpole and 2 lazy officers who usually sat at the entrance playing Ludo. Well, today they were about to end their uniform. Zanele barged in and slammed her hand on the wooden desk. Officer, my sister, they are killing her. She's inside one man's house. The officers looked up slowly. One of them squinted. Madam, calm down. Who is killing who? Zanele dropped her phone on the counter, still on the call. Listen, just listen to this. The audio was faint by now, but it was still chilling. A man's cold voice could be heard. Quick movements of something being dragged, and Umbali crying. Did you hear that? Zanele asked. That is my sister. She went to visit a man. I have the estate's name, his number, everything. The younger officer stood up. What is the name of the estate? Palms Heights. It is 15 minutes from here. I have the gate's name. The man's name is Sifo, or at least that's what he told her. Please, we don't have time. The officers froze at the name. Sifo? One of them repeated. Are you sure that's the name? Yes, Zanele yelled. He exchanged a look with the other officer and then faced Zanele seriously. Madam, if this is true, then we might just have a big case at hand. This Sifo of a man has another name. His real name is Temba Dlamini. We've been looking for him for over a year. Let's just hope it is the same man. Zanele's heart stopped. Well, he's a suspected serial killer. He lures women, mostly poor or desperate ones, and they vanish with no witnesses or bodies. Zanele started shaking. Umbali, she's still alive. You can still get her. Please do something. The younger officer immediately grabbed his radio. We need backup. Suspect spotted at Palms Heights Estates. Possible hostage. Moving immediately. In less than 60 seconds, 3 officers armed with rifles were in the patrol van. Zanele jumped in too, holding her phone like a lifeline. The officer driving asked her, "Can you still hear them?" She placed it on speaker. They heard the man's voice, which was cold and calculated at this point. And Umbali's please don't do this to me. I haven't told anyone anything. Then a loud thud as if something metal was scraping across the floor. Zanele burst into tears. Please, God, let us reach in time, I beg you. If you save my sister, I will never insult any of your creatures again, including mosquitoes. The van screeched as it entered the estate. The gate's guards were too shocked to even stop them. As they neared the unit number Umbali gave her, Zanele's heart raced. She didn't wait for permission. She jumped out of the van and pointed at the building. That is the one, flat C2, upstairs. The officers moved in silently like trained hunters. They knocked once, but no answer came. Then they broke the door with one heavy kick. Zanele was held back, but she strained her ears and could hear the stifled scream and shouting. Then there was silence. Moments later, an officer appeared at the door. He nodded. She's alive. Zanele fell to her knees and wept. The officers carried out Temba Dlamini in handcuffs, while Umbali was wrapped in a blanket shaking. Her clothes were torn, but she was alive and untouched, just in time. Zanele ran to her and hugged her as if she was holding the last piece of her soul. I heard you, she cried. I heard you, Umbali. I didn't end the call. Umbali burst into tears. I knew you wouldn't. The next morning, afternoon, the sun rose as though nothing had happened. But in Palms Heights Estate, one flat was sealed with yellow police tape. Officers moved in and out, carrying evidence bags, gloves, knives, stained ropes, phones, and a locked box they refused to open in public. Zanel sat on a plastic chair outside the hospital ward. Her face was swollen from crying, and her clothes were still rumpled from yesterday's drama. She hadn't slept or eaten. She was just waiting. Umbali was inside receiving treatment. The doctor said she had no serious wounds, only deep shock and bruises from the struggle. However, it was the kind of experience that didn't bleed outside, it bled inside. A few hours later, the door opened and a nurse came smiling gently. "You can go see her now." Zanele rushed in. Umbali sat up slowly. She was wrapped in a clean white hospital blanket and her eyes were still dull. They didn't speak at first. Zanele sat beside her and just held her hand tightly, like someone afraid to let go. After a while, Umbali whispered, "I thought I was going to die." Zanele blinked back tears. "I thought so too, but God held your life hostage." Umbali smiled weakly. "When I screamed your name, I didn't even know if the call was still on." "It was," Zanele said. "I forgot to end it. This is the first time my forgetfulness saved the day." They both laughed, and then Umbali asked, "How many girls didn't make it?" Zanele looked down. Too many. The police found documents, phones, and clothes that didn't belong to anyone identifiable. Umbali closed her eyes. "He was so gentle and kind. I thought he was an angel." Zanele shook her head. "See, even Satan was a choir master before he turned to the serpent." Umbali smiled and said, "I'm just glad I have you." Zanele grinned proudly. "That is why God made us sisters, because he knew I am too stubborn to let evil win." That evening, the police released a statement. The suspect, known as Sefo, real name Temba Dlamini, has been arrested for multiple crimes linked to missing women across KwaZulu-Natal. Thanks to the swift action of a young woman named Zanele, we were able to reach the victim in time. The case is still under investigation. As such, by the next day, Zanele and Umbali were trending on local Twitter with headlines like "Sister Saves Sister, Killer Caught by Ongoing Phone Call," "How One Woman Outsmarted a Serial Predator." Some people even took it far by tweeting, "We need to form a forum named Sisters Watch 911 before you visit any man or go on a date. You will drop the location and your outfit picture. Also, inform your sister and neighbors." Someone else added, "Don't also forget to go with your pepper spray. If your date acts suspicious, just greet him with a generous amount of pepper spray." A local women's rights group visited the hospital and offered free therapy for Umbali. She accepted because even though she was alive, something inside her had been rearranged. She no longer felt like the same girl who smiled at compliments or believed in easy kindness from strangers. She had seen the devil wear perfume and designer clothes, and she was still in shock from the experience. Thank you for watching the story. Kindly share your thoughts about the story with me in the comment section. What did you learn from the story? Please share the story out with your loved ones. Give the story a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye.